Network.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
We're live, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Sunday, the 12th day of September 2010. We're going to be live here for the next 2 hours. Infowars.com has been down since this morning with the internet routing issue, not on our end. PrisonPlanet.com, Infowars.net, PrisonPlanet.tv, JonesReport.com, and other auxiliary sites are up. Infowars should be back up by this evening. If not, we're going to have to move it to new servers. So that is going on that information warfare front. An update for all of you emailing and writing us and calling us. We are aware of that fact from your Twitters and the rest of it. We've been aware of it since about 6:30 a.m. this morning when I got up to check the site and start doing research for today's transmission. Okay, here are the different stacks of news that I have in front of me. China rethinks its controversial one-child policy because their population is actually dropping, and it's making their society unravel. For all of you out there that support one-child policies in the West, don't worry, the West is dead. 1.3 replacement rate. China's about to get rid of their one-child policy because it's gone below 1.7. So we're going to be breaking that down today. There's also another fact check here from the Associated Press. Obama's tone shifts on health care. He admits it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. It does increase overall health care prices by at least 25%. And it was written by the insurance companies to gang rape you financially. Hope you enjoy it. Who owns the insurance companies? The big mega banks, the same folks that run everything else. Also, 9 years after 9/11, few see terrorism as top U.S. problem. Only 1% see it as the top problem in the country. 1%. People really understand that. But 9/11 has been used to kill this country's liberties and freedoms that make the United States so special. So we're going to be breaking that down, the latest Ground Zero mosque distractions, the Koran burning distractions. We're going to be discussing it all today. And the New York Observer has now reported what Paul Watson and Kurt Nemo and myself wrote about and spoke about in the last month, that the Ground Zero Mosque is a trilateral commission CFR CIA front. And here it is, New York Observer today, with the headline that it's a CIA operation. Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Fidel Castro. How many of these people, how many of these groups are manufactured? We'll be discussing that today. We've got massive economic news. We've got the election news. Now numbers showing that the Republicans will win the House conservatively and may even win the Senate. What does that mean in the big picture? We've got the mainline GOP still targeting Tea Party, Patriot candidates. When they go after a Tea Party candidate, you know that's the seal of approval. You know they're really good, like Rand Paul when the GOP tried to shoot him down in the Republican primary. We're going to be talking about that as well today. After this quick break that is coming up, and Boehner, the Republican leader in the House, is saying that he will accept any tax cut from Barack Obama. Any of the different groups that are having their taxes raised, he'll accept a middle-class tax cut and allow the rich to be taxed. If you're making $250,000 a year in a couple, that's $125,000 a piece, your taxes are going way up. Let me tell you, somebody making $125,000 a year is not rich. They're lower middle class. It's people like that that make the entire economy go around. These billionaire elitists and the rest of them taking their money offshore. It's that tiny middle class making $100,000, $200,000 a year that goes to your cleaners, your restaurants, that buys cars, that buys boats, that buys clothes, that buys gasoline, that pays for people to have their house cleaned, and they're targeting them. And the Republicans are saying, okay, we'll accept the tax on the rich. The true rich, you've got all the loopholes written where they pay very low taxes. But you got the general dumbed-down public thinking if you make $125,000 a year, you're rich. Yeah, make $125,000 a year, pay $40,000, $50,000 of it in taxes, keep $60,000. That's not rich. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Skull&Bones Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, while most Americans are watching football or getting drunk, I'm here live. I'm here 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Back Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. It is the 12th day of September, 2010. We're going to be live here for the next 2 hours. The websites are Infowars.com and prisonplanet.com. And we're also simulcasting the entire radio transmission in a full living color 4-camera shoot. So you can see the video clips we're going to play. So you can see all the different news articles and legislation and documents we're going to show. In fact, give me a document cam shot, please, crew, of the entire desk here of all the different stacks of news I have here in front of me. We have Boehner, the leader of the Republicans, saying he'll accept any tax cut from Obama. Instead of fighting to end the so-called tax on the rich, you make $125,000 a year individually or $250,000 a year as a couple, you're going to see your taxes go up massively. But they call that the rich. And Boehner is saying that he's now going to accept that. I have his quotes here in the Associated Press. He's hoping Obama will not raise taxes on people making $50,000 a year. Of course, Obama lied and said he wouldn't raise taxes unless you made $250,000 individually. And now he's raised taxes basically on everybody. And even the Associated Press has a fact-check report today admitting that it's an overall 25% increase in insurance premiums on those that are already insured. Obama's now admitting that it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions, that it makes 30-plus million Americans go out and get insurance, overpriced insurance. This is slavery, and it was written by the insurance companies owned by the big mega banks, another banker bailout. But the Republicans wouldn't tell you that. No, that would have actually defeated the legislation. And you watch, when they get into power, they're not going to fully repeal this health care takeover. You just watch. Just like the Republicans could score major political points and defeat all of the tax increases that are coming up, they're not going to put up a fight. In fact, put that AP headline back up there for folks. Here's the headline. Boehner, that's the Republican leader of the House, says he'd support a middle-class tax cut. And he went on to say that, well, if he can't get Obama to get rid of the increase on people making $125,000 individually or $250,000 per household, that he'll accept any tax cut and go along with that. You know, ladies and gentlemen, California massively raised taxes 2 years ago. And guess what? Tax receipts are way down 2 years later. You raise taxes, less money comes in. Kennedy cut taxes by 50% in 1961. Guess what happened to tax receipts? They more than doubled. Ronald Reagan cut taxes. There was over a 30% increase in tax receipts. The government knows that, ladies and gentlemen. They know when you slap a tax on people making $125,000 a year individually, that A, they're not rich, they're lower middle class in the real scheme. The dollar doesn't go as far as it did, ladies and gentlemen, when you could take your date out to the movies and for dinner for 25 cents 80 years ago. Okay? They know that when they raise taxes, that it destroys the economy. But they want the control. They want to eradicate the middle class. They want to bankrupt the American people with NAFTA and GATT and globalism. It's stated by the Club of Rome. It's stated by the United Nations. And Newt Gingrich, one of the main leaders of the Republican Party, supports global government. He supports global carbon taxes. He supports all of this. And if you think he's going to save you, you got another thing coming. They're going to take over this Republican revolution just like they did in 1994. They're going to have globalist CFR types take it over and run it straight into the ground. And remember, you were told this. 2-3 years from now, when the depression's even deeper and the Republicans have done nothing but put window dressing on what Obama rammed through, just remember that. And all you Democrats 5-6 years from now who are getting ready to vote a Democrat back into the presidency and get ready to give the House and Senate back to the Democrats. Now, right now, the Democrats have got it. The Republicans are about to get it. You just remember down the road that I told you. You just remember that, because these globalists are on record how they finance both sides, how they control our society. So I'm hopping mad. I'm going to be going over that as well today. And obviously, we're going to talk about all of the sideshows that went on over the weekend. The burning Korans and the Ground Zero Mosque and the protest and the demonstrations and all of it. Over a month ago, I did research, and so did my other in-house researchers, Paul Watson, Steve Watson, Kurt Nemo, Aaron Dykes, and we published article after article after article pointing out that the CIA was funding the Ground Zero Mosque, pointing out that the Trilateral Commission was funding it, pointing out that the CFR was involved, that this imam's a globalist, that the second biggest shareholder in News Corp, that owns Fox, I talked about it last weekend, was funding this stinking diversion. Well, what's the New York Observer reporting today? A well-known, respected conservative publication. Here's the headline, New York Observer, untangling the bizarre CIA links to the Ground Zero Mosque. You know, a week and a half ago, we published the secret FBI document that was leaked to us about how they were worried about violence and worried about reprisals to Christians worldwide. And ABC News finally quoted us and reported on this yesterday. Just like we broke the MIAC and Homeland Security reports, where almost all of the anti-terror training that's going on in this federal government is for conservatives and gun owners and libertarians. So, while they finance radical Muslims to scare Americans to accept naked body scanners in the courthouses and the airports and the public schools and the mobile scanners, and while they sell you on this police state, and you're like, yeah, I'll give my rights up because men in turbans might, you know, come out of my closet at night and rip my head off or come out from under the bed and kill me. Meanwhile, who created the Taliban and Al-Qaeda? CIA, on record. Who put Saddam Hussein into power? CIA. Oh, yes. Who overthrew secular governments in the Middle East over and over again? Like Operation Ajax, 1953, Iran. CIA, on record. And who's funding that mosque? You think this whole thing just got announced coming up on the 9th anniversary? You think these people burning Korans just popped up because they're loonies or they're crazies? No, ladies and gentlemen. This is staged so that they can hype the Muslims up, the radical Muslims, to go out and burn and beat people up, which is now happening in the West Bank and in Indonesia. From far Asia to the Middle East. I've got the news articles here, mainstream news today, beating up Christians, burning buildings down. It's going on all over the place, and people then go, my gosh, those Muslims are scary. We better give our rights up to the government to protect us. Meanwhile, the Homeland Security documents that were leaked to us by a federal marshal and by a state police officer that made national news a year and a half ago, last year, because they're concerned, reports that it's almost all going on for you, returning veterans, gun owners, conservatives, libertarians. So while you're running around getting your knickers all tied up in a knot, worried about Al-Qaeda going to get you, you better remember that these wind-up toy Muslim extremists are being funded and financed and protected. You remember the underwear bombing on